Hello and welcome to Nigerian Movies Today, coming to you from the network service of the NTA, where we celebrate Nigeria's vibrant and thriving creative industry, Nollywood. My name is Ifomo Dimba. Let's begin the show with the movie of the week.
Our movie of the week is Owambe Thieves, an interesting story of a struggling married couple taking a desperate decision for survival. Their decision pulls them into a dangerous web of power, betrayal, and consequences they never envisaged.
Let me come back. And you are still here. Yes. Do the job.
The movie brought to the fore a lot of glitz, glamour, and mischief. Produced by Eniola Jau, written and directed by Adeoluwa Owu. The star-studded cast includes Eniola Ajao, Zubi Michael, Shola Shobowale, Odunlade Adekola, Wumi Toriola, Femi Branch, Ikechukwu, Denrele Edun, Chimezie Imo, Akin Lewis, Olumide Oworu, Ronke Oshodioke, Faithia Williams, Unusual Fina, and Tolani Badge.
What's going on? Who took the money? I want me there! It's because of that scam of a wedding. Let's check the mini on the wedding. You look when it's scam. No,
A Nigerian crime drama film filled with humor, deception, and heist.
In our exclusive guest segment, we have a creative professional who is responsible in translating the director's idea into a formidable visual masterpiece by incorporating elements and components.
Our exclusive guest this week is Leo Omoseebi. Born on 20th April 1977 in Okitipupa and hails from Ode-Irele local government area of Ondo State, Nigeria. Leo Omoseebi, known primarily for his work in film and television productions, is a production designer, art director, and set designer on big and small screens. He began his primary education at Rabiatu Thompson Crescent, Lagos. He went to Unity Secondary School at Odiaye, Ondo State, and Federal Academy, Suleja. Leo Omoseebi proceeded to University of Lagos, where he bagged BH in architecture, equivalent to MSc. He has several credits in television programming, in drama, reality TV shows, game shows, talk shows, musical videos, and commercials, spanning over a decade. Some of such are Tinsel on African Magic Productions 2011 to 2022, Fund It Forward for Channels Television 2023 to 2024, At Ease 2024, A Father's Love for Natives Filmworks 2024, and Funmilayo Ransom Kuti for BAP Productions 2024. Leo Omoseebi, the principal designer at Leo's Patani Design Suite based on Lagos, Nigeria, has extensive professional experience in the creation of film and stage sets, office renovation, interior remodeling, with specific competencies in studio design and soundproofing. In addition to his expertise in film and design, Leo Omoseebi has served as a trainer and a mentor, recently in the capacity building workshop for youth and undergraduates in film making, organized by National Film and Video Censors Board, NFVCB, in partnership with Lagos-based universities, where he took sessions on creative designs. Leo Omoseebi, known for his shaping emerging talent in Nigerian film industry, is the Director of Communications at the Project Victory Call Initiative, PVC Naija, a political advocacy group. He is currently the National Secretary General of the Creative Designers Guild of Nigeria, an umbrella association of costume designers, makeup and hairstylists, props managers, and set designers. He has also carved a niche for himself in the audio-visual sector of the creative economy. Help make welcome one of our home behind-the-scene practitioners in the Nigerian movie industry to the set of Nigerian Movies Today on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
On our exclusive guest segment, we'll have an art director, a set designer, a professional in the creative industry that have carved a niche for himself in the person of Leo Omoseebi. Welcome to the studios of the Nigerian Movies Today. It's a pleasure having you. You're an art director, a set designer, and we barely see people behind the screen. You know why I said we barely see people behind the screen, except when the end credit is rolling. Then you say, okay, this guy that did this, this guy that did this. So, how has your journey been?
Well, my journey has been smooth. I studied architecture in the University of Lagos, but while I was there, I was a member of Theatre 15. Theatre 15 was established in 1983, and up until they created the Creative Arts Department, it was the only campus group giving drama. So when I joined back there in 97, I had the opportunity to be part of plays, and that had stoked an interest in being part of the entertainment industry. So when I finished school and I was doing one or two things, I got the opportunity to join Mnet, and I grabbed it with both hands. So my journey started by working in Mnet Tinsel Productions. It was a place where we learned structure, where we learned how to do things on time. It was stressful, it was worth it, and we were encouraged by the response the audience had. So Tinsel basically prepared me for what I'm doing today.
So how do you translate the director's idea into a visual masterpiece?
Okay, so that is basically, you start during pre-production. So when you are hired by a producer, you are linked with the director who's also hired, right? So the way it is, the executive producer brings the money, gets a producer, gets a director, then they call the art director. You do a breakdown of the script, and from the breakdown, you separate things into your set and to your props. So when you do your breakdown, it basically makes somebody know that, okay, you know what it is. Some of the things are explicit, but some you have to put your creativity to it. So you basically do what is called a mood board. A mood board is like a presentation document where you match images that suggest what you are trying to say. And you basically align with the director's vision. In some projects, the director knows everything he wants to do. He basically says, this is what I want to do, go and source them. In some other projects, the director says, show me what you want to do, and let us meet in the middle, you know. But in all of this, with all the grammar and the twinchy, money is the deciding factor of what you see on screen eventually.
Okay, you talked about money. So that's budgeting, because it's very key when it comes to production. So how do you maintain and schedule it to be on the track?
So oftentimes you are told that this is your budget, work within the ambience, the parameters of your budget. Sometimes you also realize that when you get on set, I would say that you can be ready 75% before you get on set. When you get on set, certain variables might occur, and you find out that what you wanted to do, you might get all your prop elements because you need to handle them, yes, but your set might change. You might get to a place and the director, the DOP, and everybody just says, what was intended to happen in a bedroom can happen in a part of the living room, depending. Nobody knows a finished product until it is released.
Yeah. So the props, the setting, how do you maintain consistency?
So in a film production, as different from a TV production, I started from TV. So in TV, you know that the same thing you get will be used across board. So for example, as you are styled now, the costume designer knows this chain, this jewelry you are wearing, whatever, the costume will be used in scene A, scene B, and all of that. While in film, some things you use may not be used again in the, should I say, in the course of the story. But ultimately, you keep everything until you wrap. And you keep it because sometimes you have post-wrap shoots, pick-up shoots. So until the scene wraps, you don't dispose of anything. Oftentimes, some things are rented, some things are bought that belong to the production, you know. But there's that middle ground that you get. But you must keep your items safely so that when you do need to get them back on set, you can deploy them as quickly as possible.
Oh, okay. So I've seen some of your productions that you're involving. You did the set for Fumilayo Ransom Kuti.
I was on
Can you tell us your experience?
Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, so I was a production designer and there was an art director by the name of Taufik. We worked for Bolanle Austin Peters. It was a period piece. It was shot in Lagos and Abeokuta. And some parts, we had to go to the official residence of the Deputy British High Commissioner, who incidentally, whose father was also in the diplomatic corps. So ultimately, it was basically sourcing materials and shooting to the taste of the director. We also shot in the actual family house of the Ransom Kutis, because they have a Ransom Kuti museum in Abeokuta. So we went there and we did what we could to style the space according to the period in which it was set. And it speaks to the power that all art directors bring to set. Under the able vision of the production, of the design director too, Madam BAP, as we call her, also has a very aesthetic eye, and she challenges you. I mean, you come with this, you say, can we do it better? And all of that. So it's that. When we did the set of the Fela house within the space, and ultimately the director has the final say on set, you basically help the director to achieve their vision. And it was an interesting experience. I learned a lot.
One of the scenes of that movie was when they threw Joker Silva.
So from the stairs, yes.
So I was like, Nollywood. This one is Ojoro.
Well, see, you must understand.
But it was actually we've really done well. In the past, I was just trying to imagine the scene in the past. Then when we do VHS and the rest, you could see the originality in the throwing.
So for that sequence, if I may say, because ultimately we tell stories by speaking to the camera. Yes. Then our editor friends match cuts under the direction of the director. Of course, for that particular sequence, I think the editor was on set, the VFX supervisor was on set, because they know how the thing will come out. So in between the stunt coordination, of course they threw Madam. So what I'll say is this.
So what I want to ask, so what was beneath the where she landed?
When you get to all sets that you see stunt coordination, of course there will be soft landings, and the thing is to get a sequence that shows her landing, the scene to get the sequence being thrown, then the stunt does the in-between, right? We had stunt coordination on that set. Let me just say that. It was a guy that did the mimicking of the body movement, right? And Madame did her acting. And when you use green screen and, should I say rotoscoping technology, you saw what you saw. That day, we shot in that space for like 2 days, thereabout. But it was a very engaging set piece.
Okay, let's look at also your one of your work in A Father's Love. Can you also share
A Father's Love was very interesting. We needed to depict the abode of a humble Nigerian who was a taxi driver. Not Uber driver, taxi driver. So, now, the thing is...
Why did you say not Uber driver?
Because Uber drivers have a vehicle that costs millions, you get, and they are onboarded on a social app. Okay. But the taxi driver is an artisan that drives vehicles and that meets different challenges on the street. So we needed to show the humble abode of a taxi driver. Now, the funny thing is this. When we were doing location recce is just reconnaissance, which is just scouting.
Yes.
We found out that the places that could work for the environment were too small to shoot in. So people don't know that when you are in a space, you need lee room around the space for cameras to move. To do all those interesting shots, tracking shots, overhead shots. So the places that were true to life were too cramped. And if the place is too cramped, you can't have the cinematic experience. So we needed to build a set in a studio. My team was responsible for building that set in the studio. The general rule of thumb is when you don't see the ceiling of the space, you are most likely in a studio setup. Yes. So we needed to build with plywood, wood, and mimic to a certain extent what happens in such a space. So a great percentage of our scenes were indoor sets. The police station, the houses of the main characters, his friends.
That was David Jones.
David Jones' character, who had that crisis on his hand. The mechanic workshop was exterior. In fact, the mechanic workshop, when we did it, the mechanic people said, let's leave it like that. We like, it looked very good. We worked in a radio house. We went to an actual radio space and just, should I say, dressed it for our purposes. When I saw the source material, the script, I was compelled to be part of the production because I was like, this is a story that needs to be told. Most times you hear about masculine infidelity.
In fact, we're tired of it. And love. We're tired.
So this was a case of what men do, women also do, and maybe they do better.
I think men should be celebrated more in our movies We do a lot of movies for women this. I think we should celebrate the men too.
When I was in school, when Theatre 15 was working under Felix Okolo, he mentioned something that the people that consume stories, mostly in the majority are women. When you hear soap opera, the legend goes that things that could be done while women were doing their household duties in the past. So to a certain extent, even when you talk about cinema attendance, now they won't go cinema with the dragon bobo. So you want to consider that women are half or more of the population.
Yes.
So you want to do something that can compel them to watch. Now, when you now do stories that are male-centered, you still want to make it plausible for women to watch. So I hear you, and I agree with you that we need to put men out there. Men are an endangered species.
Oh, please. Please, let's not go into that argument.
All right.
So share your own experience on A Down for Christmas. I actually saw... Did they just use downfall and travel?
A Down for Christmas was an interesting piece. We had originally intended to shoot a lot of the interiors in the studio, as we said, but the production logistics required we shoot in Ekiti. So my team was in Ekiti to shoot. And we needed to move downfall from Lagos
to Ekiti,
which we did. We needed the downfall to be in a particular state that reflected
the typical.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We know the way they look like.
We had to, in fact, the downfall people we hired, they had to tell us, "Oga, this thing that will make me speak Yoruba." But ultimately, we needed to redress the downfall a bit in line with the story. A Downfall Christmas was shot at breakneck speed. The team was in Ekiti, camped. So we shot parts of it in Ekiti, a significant part of it in Ekiti. We shot parts in Lagos, the national sports, indoor sports hall for the boxing ring. And the kitchen was where we had shot the mechanic village for the Father's Law. So A Downfall Christmas was a true to her, a coming of age story.
Okay.
And that shows that love is what underpins anything, A family must be gracious to itself. Then again, the young man in the story that couldn't tell his parents his vocation into, boxing. The average brother would be like, "You want to kill me?" That kind of thing. But ultimately, it was a story.
I want Mama doctor, Mama engineer. So what is a Mama boxer?
Now they will say Papa Boxer when they see how much
Anthony Joshua is earning.
So there are those considerations. When we were growing up, you had the professional courses.
Yes.
And our parents wanted us to do professional courses because they had seen how Nigeria was going, and they felt that if you're in a professional course, it's likely you'll be able to use the work of your hands to do stuff rather than clerical stuff. But as we've seen, anything can be professionalized.
Yes, and the narrative is changing.
The narrative has changed.
Interesting movies to watch this week are Sin, First Kill.
Today is a somber day, not just for my family,
Hold on.
but the entirety of the nation.
There's two agents. There they come.
Boys.
I would like you to meet Major
Bishop.
Bishop, yes. They're from the Interpol.
He really went all the way out.
Ever heard the name Joseph Idalo?
I want out!
And Bendel Girl.
What we have done is very reckless. If anything happens to that girl, we don't hear them be that.
It's about Teresa.
Teresa. Who be Teresa?
Now, Teresa, here are the kind souls that came to your aid, and make sure you arrive here safely.
What if she's telling the truth?
You mean that she may have actually traveled through time?
There exists an uncommon circumstance here.
She said Bendel. Bendel. Nobody says Bendel.
What date is it today?
Today is the 5th of October, 1985.
Several actors and actresses are carving a niche for themselves in Nollywood and are worth keeping an eye on. In our Start to Watch, let's find out the rising talent that is blazing the trail.
Our star to watch this week is Nigerian makeup and special effects artist Feishayo Oyebisi, popularly known as Feizo. The Oyo State-born creative, who has been in the industry for over 15 years now, started out as a makeup and costume assistant intern on the set of Mnet TV series Edge of Paradise that started airing in 2006, while still studying sociology in Bowen University, Iwo, Osun State, Nigeria. After schooling, she worked in the banking industry for a while before eventually following her dreams by going back to where she interned, as well as self-teaching herself before recently going to study special effects professionally. Oyebisi, who is fascinated by the idea of taking words and turning them into visuals, has worked on set of critically acclaimed movies such as Ajuwaya, Anyila, King of Boys 2, Ajoshepo, Ile Owo, A Young Time Ago, A Tribe Called Judah, String, and A Naija Christmas. Feizo is our passionately skillful star to watch.
Entertaining and juicy stories on our moments and events.
It was a night of glitz and glamour as friends, family, and practitioners of the Nigerian movie industry gathered to witness the premiere of a movie titled The Benefactor at Film House IMAX Lekki Phase 1, Lagos. The producer and director of the movie gave insight.
What inspired The Benefactor is the love to want to do something remarkable in the industry. And I've been away for long, and it's only better to come back with a good story for people to love and appreciate.
The Benefactor was a journey, and when I say a journey, it took us through a lot of things. I mean, from scripting to character development to filming itself. I don't think you can be proud enough to call yourself a filmmaker if you have not gone through all this journey meticulously.
The Benefactor parades of Akin Lewis, Bimbo Manuel, Bimbo Ademoye, Kunle Remi, Toby Makinde, Toluwani George, Folakemi Bello, among others.
There was something off about him.
Mr. Kolaju Oluokere, if you don't move this instant, I will scream for help.
Some of the cast bared their minds.
It's something that you can identify with. Either you are a man, a woman, young, old, you will be able to, key into the characters of the movie. It's a very fantastic one, and it's directed by Captain X. What do you expect, sir?
Well, look forward to a beautiful soul that is portrayed in the most beautiful ways. That's one thing you should look forward to. A beautiful story with beautiful cast.
Guests at the premiere shared their expectations.
Firstly, I believe in the director. I trust his capability. I trust his capacity to produce a movie that is world class.
Got an amazing list of actors in here today. I expect nothing but the best.
I think the project speaks for itself. The crop of cast, the quality, and the message that it's been trying to put out. So I implore every viewer out there, to go to the cinema and watch The Benefactor.
The Benefactor movie is a psychological family drama, and it is currently in the cinemas.
Thank you so much for staying with us on the program Nigerian Movies Today, coming to you from the network service of the NTA. It's quite an engaging episode where we have a professional that educated us on set designing. My name is Ifeoma Odimba. To keep a date with us next week. Bye-bye and God bless you.